Somebody once told me if you can get 50% of the population to hate your guts, you can become president of the United States. You need haters because nobody has as much energy.
There's been kind of like actually tons of research done in terms of the addictiveness. It's like a drug. The next swipe, one more swipe, and it's so easy that you can sit there and scroll through content. The only friction that you have is your finger swiping up. You can go to Amazon and get a little clip-on thing that does it for you. So literally, the consumer or the creator consume to create.
Welcome back, Novello Nation, to another episode of the Aaron Novello podcast. We have a guest that all you guys want to connect with. I get so many questions on a regular basis with regards to what social media platform to be on and how do you do it. So who we're bringing to you today is the go-to person for TikTok for real estate agents. He goes by the Ginger Marketer. He is the guy to speak to. Really appreciate you, Joshua Moore, for taking the time to be with us here today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the invite. I'm excited to talk TikTok and just kind of hope to help agents and brokers, anyone that's tuning in, just to learn more about it. So yeah, I'm excited to get started.
Awesome, man. I am as well. So, I get questioned on a regular basis because I was sharing with you off camera. I have the good fortune of not only selling real estate, but also coaching and instructing others on how to do so in high volume. And a common question all the time around attraction, right? Because there's different mechanisms for attraction. And a common one that is continuing to grow and continue to become part of the conversation is social. And people ask me on a regular basis, what should I be doing? What platform should I be focused on? Now, you have become the go-to person specifically for TikTok. So if you could maybe talk to us about why TikTok, and maybe talk to us about why TikTok is such a good platform specifically for real estate agents.
So that's a really great question to start off with, Aaron. So let me walk you through why TikTok, right, is the first question. So why TikTok? Okay. What you've got in front of you right now is one of the fastest growing social media apps of all time. Okay. So what I mean by that is there's over 80 million actually active US users right now that are using TikTok. Now, when we think about the demographics and we break it down a little bit, a lot of the common beliefs that people have is an app for kids, it's an app for lip sync, and it's an app for dance trends. Actually, if you're actually on TikTok, one, you should know that it's not that because you hardly ever see any of that on your For You page. But two, when we think about the demographic on TikTok, when we think about who's maybe first-time home buyers, mid-20s, kind of going into late 20s, right? Actually, what we find is that probably about 55 to 60 million of those people are in that bracket, if not older. So again, this perception that TikTok is for teenagers and for kids, that needs to be kind of taken out because the facts don't lie when it comes to that. Now, what that means is that on a daily basis, you've got hundreds of thousands of new users migrating to TikTok because they're getting videos that are shared from family, videos shared from friends. Now, what this does is it gives an opportunity for realtors to position themselves on there as that social. We use the word social a lot, and it kind of comes up a lot of people because social media is a good opportunity to be social, to interact with people on more of like a personal level. Now, where TikTok differs from your Facebook, where it differs from your YouTubes, your Instagram, it's not polished. One thing that TikTok isn't, it's not polished in the sense of, I always say to people, say to real estate specifically, is like, imagine just picking up your phone and having a conversation with someone. Be it a buyer, be it a seller, be it a loved one on the phone. That's what TikTok is. It's authentic. It's real. So when you come as a service provider that's building their business based on the relationships and how you're actually speaking with people, there's this big opportunity to not only reach people that are actively looking to buy, sell, or at least not now in the near future, but also the opportunity to build your personal brand, to show your presence. And then what that means is the more they see you, the more they're going to recognize you, they're going to relate to you, all the situations, things that you talk about in your day as well. And what that gives us such a unique opportunity for realtors because we're not stuck in this sphere on our Facebook bubble. We're not stuck in the YouTube where we can have to spend hours recording this perfect video that gets a few hundred views. And you probably don't have the time to hire an editing team to learn Premiere Pro or all these different editing apps. Whereas TikTok, I can tell you now, you can literally go on this app and I can even time it. I can record a video right now. I would be able to, you'd give me a minute. I could go in, record a quick video, type a hashtag caption, post it, and it could get 1 million views just like that. There's no other powerful social media channel that allows you to do that. And not only does TikTok get pushed out to your own follower base, The algorithm is such a powerful tool, and it's one of the most advanced AI driven algorithms out there, that it actually knows every type of behavior, every type of thing that you're doing on that app, and it will customly show relevant content to yourself. So it almost listens to you in a way that's almost freaky, right? So this poses this great opportunity for agents and brokers to position themselves to the local area, to people in that local area as well. Um, Bit of a long-winded answer, but it's a highly powerful tool. I get very like energetic into this, and you can see the hand moving because it's a very. I think a lot of people, real agents don't think that it is. There's loads of common beliefs. I need a video team. I'm too old. It's just for kids. I have to have 20 hours of a week to start recording my TikTok videos. I'm not young in my prime. I don't want to shake my ASS on camera. I'm a perfectionist. I'm scared to be on video. All of these things, they're just limiting beliefs, and it comes down to the mindset, right? Whereas, look, if you're walking down the street and someone asks you a real estate question, you still answer it. You wouldn't shy away and hide under your umbrella or pull your hood down. You'd still approach it. And I think here there's so many beliefs around TikTok. There's a lot of agents and brokers are scared to start using it, because they're just caught up in their own head of what they think it is without knowing the true facts of how big the opportunity actually is.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love the energy and excitement because you recognize not only intellectually by looking at those facts and data, as you mentioned, that the numbers don't lie in terms of how many people are participating and things of that nature. You've also utilized it as a tool yourself to build a sizable business. So I think a lot of people out there, they talk from a place of like, perhaps they read it in a book and it's interesting and they're only in facts. Well, you've actually monetized it and created a very specific niche and a very, meaningful business with sizable revenues. And your primary attraction mechanism has been TikTok.
Yeah, and again, if we want to get to the figures, right? And before again, we had the pleasure of having a short catch up before this call, which was great to learn a bit more about one another. What really happened there is that when I first joined TikTok, we went from 0 to 100,000 in 6 months, which is incredible for any social media platform. We're currently at 850,000. There's 10 million likes, but within that, over the last 2 years, it's been over 100 million views. Okay, so this is without doing any paid ads. This is about without any hiring any video teams. This is just creating content. So every single time you're going to see this ginger head guy. I haven't got my hair. I don't think you can see it. I'm just going to bring it down so people can see it because this is where you're going to probably recognize me, right? So here you've got this ginger guy landed on your 4-page glasses, a bit of a salt and pepper beard and this long ginger head. That's memorable. People remember that because it's showing your face to people all the time as well. And that's over 100 million people that have seen that. And there's that power here. And we talk about how 6-figure months from kind of like TikTok. As much as I want to talk about myself, I want to talk about actually a realtor that we're working with right now. Okay, so with this year to date from TikTok, we got the figures in yesterday. He's generated $126,090 after broker splits from his TikTok account this year. He has got 9,000 followers. When he got his first deal on TikTok, he had 340 followers. He'd only posted 20 videos. Someone reached out to him saying, I want to work with you. I want you to be this realtor because I like your energy. I like how you look on camera. I like how you're using this no BS approach that I see a lot of these realtors, with their blue collar white suits trying to sell me something, get the best commission in their pocket rather than look out for me, who's the seller, who's selling this home that I've lived in for my family for 20 years, that's really emotionally attached to me. You get me. You understand this thing that I'm going through right now. So I want to work with you. And I think here it's that business that can be built on TikTok. And it's such an incredible tool to be able to do that. Now, but obviously you need the knowledge to be able to do that, know what type of content to create, know how you can then get them out of the platform, what type of messaging you're supposed to convey, how you can get your personality in across as well. But that kind of all comes into play as well. But as a business tool, as an organic business tool, which a lot of first-time realtors, if they're just starting out, limited budgets, they don't want to be spending too much money. You can make so much money without having to spend too much money.
Yeah, and that's critical, right? And we were talking too off camera where it's like there's 3 components in any business. There's attract,
Mm-hmm.
convert, and deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And from an attraction perspective, what you just said was interesting about like the hundreds of millions of views or people that have watched your videos. This wild ginger guy doing his thing. What I'm
Yeah,
aware of is that known is better than best.
exactly.
I heard that from Grant Cardone. And when he said that, I was like, oh, that's so interesting. where the
Hmm.
fact that people know you and they know who you are and they recognize your
Hmm.
face. And he
Yeah.
also says, like, if you don't know me, you can't flow me. So meaning, like, if you don't know me, you can't pay me.
Hmm.
So this tool, that because the virality is such, and I don't think people understand, to your point, where they have all these false kind of misperceptions with regards to, oh, it's for kids, or oh, it's for this, where it took me, I don't know, and I'm not even at nearly close to the numbers that you're at, but it took me, like, I don't know, years to get like 3,400 people on Instagram. It took me 2 months to get that on
Hmm.
TikTok.
Hmm.
Where with one or two videos, if it goes, it just explodes, right? And
Yeah.
from that, there's all different ways with attention. There's all different ways to monetize that. It might be, you can monetize that for leads, right? As far as a real estate business, you might monetize it with, if you're with a company that allows you to do like downline, like EXP, like I'm with, you can monetize it in that way.
Hmm.
If you have a course that you can sell, you can monetize it in that way. So what I'm hearing you say is just as is like this unbelievable free, like crazy viral platform that if you just spend some time, energy, and effort on, you can get a lot of attention, and then you can figure out how to make money with that attention.
Well, let me ask you this, Aaron. If I was to say I can get you 4,200, say 4,200 leads, how much would you pay for 4,200 leads? You'd be like probably tens of thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Hundred, maybe sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending what industry you're in. What if I was to tell you that one of our students last month put out a free guide about it was about the home buying, the home selling process, and that got him 4,200 leads within 6 days.
Wow.
That's the power of versus you'll be setting up ads, you'll be pushing out ads and all this kind of stuff as well. But it was literally all he did was screen record the actual guide and just walk through and just in a TikTok video, like a live walkthrough, right? But it was so compelling the way that he did it that people really just, hey, I've used this call to action, and as you mentioned here, you can do the downline, you can do the leads, you can even sell merchandise. We've got another realtor who's selling a Texas hat because he wears it in all of his TikTok videos, and he just makes hundreds of dollars just from that little thing as well. You've also got your coaching, right? Maybe you're looking as a broker to attract more agents, but instead you might want to do an actual coaching like you do, Aaron, when you're helping other kind of realtors and something as well. So there's so many ways that you can monetize. That's outside of pushing them outside the app. They also have in-app where you get the creator fund, you go lives, people can send you gifts. You can still make money within the app as well. So it is a powerful tool to be able to then use it as that attraction. And then on to your point, especially with reference to Grant Cardone, is like that no. A lot of realtors are chasing the no like trust, right? But in able to get that like and that trust, they first need to know who you are because you don't trust no one, you don't trust a stranger. So they need to know that you exist. That's why a lot of people, a lot of realtors, fearful of getting started because they're going to make a mistake. I'm going to look stupid. It's not perfect. But again, what I'm going to say and reference to your point is that that belief, that misconception, it doesn't have to be that way, and that's where a lot of realtors get stuck because they think it would have to be that way, which often is what takes a lot of the time because they're always editing, they're changing. I'm refilming myself. My hair looks out of place. My glasses are a bit wonky. My teeth, I've got something stuck in my teeth. I see that as a win because you know what? If you got something stuck in your teeth, you got something stuck on your shirt here, people are going to comment on it. And the more they comment, the more it's going to get pushed out in the algorithm. I call it the hidden Easter eggs, right? And there's been times when I've gone live, I've got a bit of ketchup on my shirt, 100 comments like that, you know?
I need to start squirting ketchup on my shirts before videos, man. So this is great. And then my question is, so you specialize, you're the go-to guy for TikTok for real estate agents. You've niched down on that. So, and I know that you guide and kind of coach people on specifically on how to create content. So what would you propose or suggest? And I know you're not going to give them everything, but it's like, what would be like one or two tips that you can give people? Like, hey, do this, don't do this.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind giving everything away as well because if it's going to help people, I've got no problem with that. Because again, as we know, you can give people all the tools and the knowledge, but 95% of the time, people don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to apply it correctly. So my goal here is to give you the knowledge, but also how to apply that as well. First up, what we need to reverse and go back to is that you're not on TikTok to attract other agents. Okay, what I mean by that is you need to be very clear who you are speaking to. The biggest mistake that realtors make is they create content for other realtors, i.e., oh, when the buyer did this, when your seller did this. Other quote unquote buyers, sellers, the normal people, should we say, don't understand that. They don't understand like lender things. They don't understand when something happens at a home inspection because chances are, if they've only been through it once, they're not going to remember it because it's a very overwhelming and stressful experience of buying or selling a home. And if they did, it's probably going to get passed because it's not really relevant to them now because they've been there. They sold the home 5 years ago. So why do they care about inspection reports or something? So first off, be very clear and identify who you're trying to speak to. Now, again, what this comes down to is usually two things. It's usually people in your area or people looking to move to your area. So those are your two options. So what you need to do is when you're creating content on TikTok, we like to use the kind of like we use for the students. What we do is we use like a content pillars approach. So we have kind of like a four kind of buckets that we kind of put out to when it comes to creating content. So this all aligns back to what's our goal. A lot of realtors' goal is to become the local expert, the go-to realtor, but also get their personality to shine through, right? They want to be personable. So when we reverse engineer this, we can break down into different pillars. So the first one is that we're going to use that as a community and lifestyle. So how are we showing the community? Now, what I encourage realtors to do is document, don't create. So what I mean by document is I'm quite close to London. When I go to London, I'm recording everything I see. I'm recording Big Ben. I'm recording the tree that's halfway in the road. I'm recording the black taxis. I'm recording all the signs. I'm recording the statue that's in the middle of nowhere. I'm recording me going to grab a coffee at the second highest reviewed coffee shop in London.
That's wonderful. So it's interesting. I'm making notes on all of this. And what it makes me think about is I heard one time this idea that there's many pieces to us as humans.
Mhm.
And like I might be a real estate agent, but I'm also a real estate investor and I'm also a dad and I like to play pickleball and I like this, right? So the idea is if you made a wheel about yourself as a person, it's making content on all those things because they're going to hit people in different ways and they'll hit different audiences in different ways. So whenever I post anything about my children, I always get responses typically from females.
Yeah.
Whenever I post about like when I'm setting an appointment or something, the salespeople are like, yeah. Whenever
Yeah.
I post something about investing money, like people that are interested in that, if you post yourself working out, if that's part of your lifestyle, what you do, you hit those people. That's basically what you're saying, right?
Basically what I'm saying, but what you kind of, I think you bring up, I think what you're doing here from here is the balance. It's very important to find that balance because if we're just posting content about our dogs, if we're just showing cute baby photos, that's not showing that we're a realtor. That's just showing that we're a human, that we like that human as well. And so many people get caught up in, I want my personality to shine through. I want people to get to know who I am. At the end of the day, it's a transaction. And I think a lot of people, yes, it works good to have that relationship, but I think that gets built a lot of the time once you kind of start working with them as well. And you also raise a good point. It's like, yes, a lot of women, i.e., who wears the, shall we say, kind of the trousers in the
Mm-hmm.
relationship most of the time, the women. So that attracts women. So then women say, oh, I saw this realtor. I'm following this realtor. And the husband mentioned, let's get out, let's upgrade. I've got a pay rise and we're moving. Let's move state for my job. First thing she's doing is looking at the houses. First thing she's doing is going to the realtor that she's been following that was talking, being their kids or the family and someone that they can relate to. Because that's where that memory comes up to them and they've been following you, they've been getting to know you and they know you do real estate, but they also know you're a family. You understand what family really means. And that is what's important to especially women who wear a lot of the trousers when it comes to the home buying or the home selling
That's right. I
related.
always like to tell people if the husband is the head of the household, the woman's the neck.
Exactly. Yeah,
Can't
exactly.
do anything without the necks, right?
Exactly.
Whatever the neck wants it to do. So now
Exactly.
this is interesting about balance because when you say that, Joshua, like what I'm aware of is I have totally seen people get completely imbalanced. So all they do is post videos of them. They'll put their camera up and they'll be like, "Hi guys, I'm here at my new listing on 1265 Banana Street," and like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be like, and the other thing I've witnessed too, which is very interesting, is the life cycle. So
Mm-hmm.
I've witnessed how this works, and I know you know how it works, but like I might be at a talk somewhere and I do a talk and then they follow me. And then they might comment on a few of their things and they check you out on different platforms. And a whole year might go by.
Mm-hmm.
And then they call you and they're like, "Hey man, I'm ready to do something and you're my guy." And you're like, "Okay, cool." But there's like
Yeah.
this life cycle. It's like the long tail. And then what's interesting about that is, we're talking about one channel right now. I've also seen how those channels interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, and they're different. So like someone on YouTube who's a subscriber, like they're probably more engaged because they've chosen to subscribe, and they're probably like interested in your content sort of thing. Where versus on TikTok, they might be scrolling and be like, "Boop, that's cool," but they
Yeah.
all interact with each other. And people, it's like you're on different TV channels for those of us who think that way and remember that, where there was channels instead of tiles. It's like they're seeing me on all different channels.
Mm-hmm. And that is, and we call that omnipresence, right? So we call that omnipresence, where you're present, and it almost feels like I just can't shake you off. You know, it's like I just why it's like. I'm trying to think of an analogy to use here, which is, but it's like I just can't shake you. So when you're there, when you're with each and every, is on Facebook, is on YouTube, is on Instagram, and all us just keep seeing is this person. It's almost kind of like you're not beating them to the ground, but it's like when that time comes, it's touch points. You're getting so many touch points with this person, and it's the more and more you get those touch points, the easier it is to start remembering things, right? It's like if you're reading a sales script, let's say you're kind of like, hey, we'll get on your cold calling script. The more you read that, the more you see that, the easier it is to remember that. So when you think, oh, remember that script, okay, well, I've seen that same script 20 times. So I'm going to think about that script the next time I'm on a cold call because I've seen it so many times. And that's where the omnipresence can really come in. And that where TikTok can really feed into that is because a lot of these other social media platforms are actually transitioning to short form media. Short form
Because of TikTok.
exactly. We had our IG Reels where they actually come across and they emulated TikTok. There was a time actually when TikTok and these IG Reels were just launching. You used to be able, or you can still kind of link your IG to your TikTok. They actually stopped that because they didn't want people migrating across to IG. But when you go to IG, what you're going to notice is TikTok watermarks all over. Because now people are aware that if I create a 15-second video for TikTok, I can put that in my Facebook Reels. I can put that in my Facebook Stories. I can put that in my YouTube Shorts. I can put that in my Instagram Reels. I can put that in my Instagram Stories. I could put that on my Pinterest. LinkedIn's now releasing short form stories on there as well. My drip campaigns. I can then kind of like send it as an email. I can put it into a Facebook group, a community group. So from one video, you've just sparked 14 different, 10, 14 different touch points. So this is where we talk about automation. There's various tools that we go through in terms of not only time creation tools of batch creating content, but also automation tools where you can post one video, it gets downloaded to your drive, and you can automatically post it to other channels straight away. So that's the and you're hitting people because you don't know that one post could be the one post where you're like, I've seen this guy 100 times. The 101st post is the one that connects, is the one that reacts to him. And so many times people give up. And especially on TikTok, because what they've been done is they've been sold this idea that you go on TikTok, you can get a million views like that. Okay. It used to be, it used to be a lot easier, right? Because there used to be less people on there and we were all on there when we were in people in COVID lockdown. The average time people spend on TikTok is 58 minutes a day right now. That's right now. Back in COVID, it was a lot more than that because people were just scrolling their phones, mindlessly scrolling their phones as well. Now, what that actually means again is that you can create one TikTok video, but you can also be present on other socials from creating one piece of content. So it actually takes the time away from all those other socials. And just to go back when we're talking about the content pillars, one thing that kind of slipped my mind is a third pillar that I didn't actually quite cover, which is listings. Okay, actually showing properties, talking about properties, showing open houses, showing listings, homes that you sold, talking about the biggest ever sold, going down neighborhoods, talking about the local architecture as well. This gives you knowledge that you know homes, that you know properties, that you can actually be the best person to value and give them the best advice to sell or find them the best home based on their criteria as well. So that's another pillar that in reference to what we're kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm just furiously writing stuff down here. So what's interesting about that whole ecosystem that you just described, and that's precisely what I've experienced, is that at the center of it is TikTok.
Of
At
course.
the whole ecosystem and how everybody's playing defense now because they realize like, holy smokes, like this whole short video thing is totally a thing. And they're all trying to pivot, whether it's YouTube with shorts,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram with reels, all in response to what TikTok is doing. So that just speaks to like how powerful that platform is. And then the other thing I thought about as you were sharing this, I recently read a book that's really blown my mind. One particular thing that I took from that book, and it's called the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, And he's a guy who he's been on all these types of podcasts, but he's a kind of like an angel investor, had multiple exits. He's very successful, young age, right? More money than you can possibly spend in a lifetime, probably. But he made this one comment about leverage. And he said there's three forms of leverage. There's the leverage of labor, which is where
Mhm.
you have people, that work with you or for you. And then you have the leverage of capital, which is where you have money work for you. And the fortunes of the last 200 years were built on those two forms of leverage. There's a new form of leverage, though, that's only been around for like 30 years. And it's the leverage of having a product or a service that costs no money to duplicate or replicate once it's been created. And that's either code, which is software. So me and you don't own TikTok, unfortunately, or content. Because what's interesting about content is that it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with no geographic borders or boundaries. And it
Mhm.
doesn't get sick. It doesn't quit. It doesn't call out. It doesn't like say, hey, I want some more money, Joshua. Like it doesn't do any of that. So what's interesting about this conversation is it's an enormous leverage tool. And at the center of the whole ecosystem on all of those platforms
Mhm.
is TikTok.
And let this and following on for what you said is really great, and it's definitely a good book recommendation. I'll take a note to kind of read that as well because it rings true to get things that I read along that path as well. One thing, and it's that I want to make a lot of people want to make money while they sleep, right? They don't want to get stuck in this rat race, this 9 to 5 rat race, or in a realtors, it's not a 9 to 5, it's a 7 to 7, 7 days a week, every single day of the year, half the day on Christmas Day, they may have people kind of messaging. So on that note as well, I'm going to speak from personal experience here. I have a post that was posted, I think, on the kind of like 8th of November, 2020. Like the 8th of November, 2020. It's still getting traction. It's still getting views every single day. And actually, it's promoting a guide that I don't even ever have on my profile. This was way before I got in Double Down. And so, people, where's that kind of like fitness coaches guide that you mentioned in this video? Now, TikTok come out and said it only takes 90 days, right? 90 days for our post to continue getting circled on the algorithm. That's what happened when you put a post out. If it falls flat in the first few days, unlike Instagram, unlike other socials, it gets multiple opportunities to keep coming back for up to 90 days. And we call this the delayed explosion on TikTok. So you might think, well, this post only got 100 views in the first day. Check back in a month, I can guarantee it's probably gone up to 1,000 or 1,500 because it's residual. So it's always growing, it's always building. Now, not only for discoverability, we look at hashtags, we look at phrases a la like Google, which, by the way, TikTok videos are now getting ranked for search engine optimization on Google as well. So a big thing for those people tuning in, make sure you're searching phrases that people are looking for in your area and create content that exact phrase because you're going to show up when people are actually using the number one search platform in the world, Google. You're going to start showing up for that. Even better if you post it on YouTube Shorts, the second biggest search engine in the world,
That's
and
right.
post your shorts on there as well. You're kind of doing one, two. You've got post on one of the fastest growing organic platforms for that search term. You've got your post showing up on the number one searched page, index page, which is Google, and the number two. So you're already covering so many bases from just one TikTok post, answering a common question that 100,000 people ask every month or every year in your area as well. But that kind of feeds into that kind of like you can literally on TikTok actually get leads while you sleep. You can wake up to a full calendar. You could wake up to 100 new leads that have come in overnight, be it now after you've posted, be it an hour after you posted, be it a month after you posted, be it a year after you posted. So we encourage people make offers. Tell people what you do. Tell people how you can help. Show people what you've helped, how you've helped other people similar to them. Because you don't know if it's that person that's seeing it on day one, or it's that person that month three, they're seeing it again at that right time, and that's where the power of the algorithm will come through. Because your content will reach that person. Because it's like you ever kind of you ever tested with Google when you said the word Dyson Hoover, Dyson Hoover, Dyson Hoover 100 times. Oh, wake up, open Google or something on Facebook. Next thing you got Dyson Hoover ads. Not going to get into that now, but they can still listen because you're talking. You're recording, and that can and your content can reach those people at the right time as well.
Yeah, and to your point about the reason why TikTok is so different is because the algorithm optimizes for interests,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
social.
uh-huh,
And
yeah,
that's a completely different thing. So to your point is like if you niche down whatever it is you talk about, the algorithm's going to figure out people that are basically interested in that for you. So instead of
yeah,
instead of me trying to, figure out what AdWords or Google AdWords like work to find them, the algorithm, because it's optimized for interests,
Yeah.
will basically find for you and put it in front of anybody who has that interest.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like that. Whereas with blogs, written content, it takes months for these algorithms to index. And then you'll think you're going to create a blog post about buying process or something, right? That's going to take months to index on Google. Chances are you're probably not going to be on close to the first page, where 90%, 95% of the people click the first one anyway. So you're already losing out. Whereas TikTok, it's AI, it's algorithm, it's showing it to that right person at that right time as well. So it's almost doing all the legwork and all the hard work for you and taking that out. It's just
Yeah,
it's very
that's like
powerful.
that's an awareness that I just had like speaking to you, where it's basically it's doing the hard work of finding who has interest in what you're saying for you,
Uh-huh.
and then
That's
making
right.
sure that it's getting put in front of people.
But when you load TikTok, right, and the first page you get hit with, what's it called? The For You page, because it's
Yes.
for you. It's not an explore page like it is on Instagram. It's not a trending page that it is on YouTube, where we all get that same grid of like Mr. Beast or some of these other people, these famous influencer. What you get seen is like a fingerprint, and it's a DNA that's only for you, based on your habits, based on how many times you've opened the app. And they actually will show you certain content to keep you on that app. And they do it in a way, the way that the app is set up, it's literally there's been kind of like actually tons of research done in terms of the addictiveness. It's like a drug. The next swipe, one more swipe, and it's so easy that you can sit there and scroll through content. That this friction, the only friction that you have is your finger swiping up. And there's even some. You can go to Amazon and get a little clip-on thing that does it for you. So literally,
Really?
things. I presume, I reckon, I've seen it on AliExpress or Alibaba, and literally like, okay, this will bring up like Tinder used to be. Instead of doing it left to right, it's doing it up and down. So here, you didn't have to do anything. You could just sit there and watch it for 15 seconds and watch it on repeat. But every single For You page is for you. It's built for you. It's that drug. It's that addiction. That's why almost an hour a day, again, as mentioned, people spend on that. That's far beyond. You don't want to sit and scroll on Facebook for an hour, watching memes and looking at Facebook groups, postings of babies and weddings. You want content that's curated and created to serve you where you are right now in your life. They'll know if you're sad. They'll know if you're happy, because if you're watching sad content or you're trying to watch more happy content, they'll show you more happy content. If you're like you kind of like your sad music, you're going to show you more sad music. If you feel like you're kind of wanting to learn stuff and you're watching educational content, they'll show you more educational content related to that content that you've done, and they'll do it live, right? You watch a video that you've never watched before, you're not interested in, chances are your algorithm is your For You page is going to start shifting. All these blocks are going to start shifting. So for that session that you're viewing that, they know what current mental state you're in, what emotional state you're in. So they're going to show you more of that content because it's going to keep you on that app for longer. That's why time does not exist when it comes to scrolling on TikTok, because you go on for a quick scroll for 2 minutes. 2 hours later, you're just like, well, what? And this is why I tell to my students, they say, I haven't got time to create content. I say, did you go on TikTok? Yes. Okay. Load up your digital well-being on your TikTok. You were on TikTok for 45 minutes. Did you create a piece of content? No. What were you doing? I was scrolling. Did you know you were on 45 minutes? No. I say, well, stop wasting your time, create content, and you can scroll as a reward after.
Yeah,
That should
I love that.
really
Well,
be
and
the
it's yeah, and I love that suggestion. And what I'm aware of is one of the things I tell coaching clients is that there's two types of people in the world. There's consumers and there's creators.
Mhm.
And I said, which ones do you think makes the most money?
Exactly.
And it's the ones that are creating content, not the ones that are just consuming it. So this is fantastic. And I wrote down, in terms of your blueprint, like, one, choose an audience, be very, very clear on who your audience is. I find
Mhm.
that is interesting. Number two, community and lifestyle. Number three, real estate content. Number four, testimonials, listings. And then that like personality wheel, all the
Mhm.
different components of,
Mhm.
like, what comprises Joshua or what comprises Aaron, like who's he's about.
Mhm.
And what'll happen is that, from Dr. Cialdini's book, Influence, is that we like people that are like us. So what's
Mhm.
cool is that the greatest form of advertising is authenticity. Just like be yourself. And what'll happen is that you'll attract people that are into you. And there'd be people that won't be, and that's cool too. That's perfectly fine. But I
Mhm.
want the people that are into me and like, into what it is that I do.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of realtors get caught up of what I've seen in my experiences because there's such a need that to be liked by everyone that they actually get afraid to put themselves out there because there's that fear. And we call it like we had a big session this week on overthinking, right? And what we can find is when a symptom of kind of like overthinking is one, you get caught in the past, i.e., oh, I've got a hate comment, someone's said a nasty thing to me, or there's a bad experience, or you're thinking about the future, it's things that have never happened. So, what people need to do is in the present, put themselves in the present. What you're thinking might happen has never happened, so stop thinking about it. What you think will happen again hasn't or isn't happening right now, so keep continuing to do that. So, I think here, like that kind of like the consumer or the creator consume to create, right? I think one thing people get is I'm going to consume and learn so much, but I'm going to get an information overload. I'm going to get in this analysis paralysis mode that a lot of people get to. So if you're going to consume, do something intentional with it. So I say that if you're going to consume TikTok for 15 minutes, grab a notepad and write down every single hook. Write down 3 reasons why you stop scrolling on that video. Write 3 things that you do different about that video. Write 3 reasons why you think that was a good video. Okay, write one thing that you change about that video if you was to do it yourself, because you're not only then consuming, you're creating in terms of you're analyzing, you're interpreting different things in different ways. Because TikTok is great for fun, it's great for personal, but it's a business tool. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. And people think, oh, it's just a social media app, it's just for kids and something, it's just for a bit of fun. But it's not that. Treat it as a business, treat it as one thing. There was actually one thing one of my students said to me is like, it's content creation for lead generation, right? He said, I'm creating content to generate leads, and that framework, that mindset is, hey, I just need to create content to generate leads. That's all I need to do. And it's that that is and it's a business and treat it as is a business. They're not going to care about what you're having for lunch and everything because that's not going to sell you homes. But you talking about homes, you talking about how to improve curb appeal, you talking about the best ways to stage your home or easy quick fixes that you can create to your home as well. That's what's going to sell you, and that's gonna actually help people when it comes to choosing you to help them buy or sell as well.
Yeah, I love that. And that's a nugget, like consume to create. And as you're saying that, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I do that where I'm looking at stuff with the intention on being like, oh, that was cool. Like, how could I do that for this? Or, oh, like you can do R&D, which is just rip off and duplicate. Like what they did was great. I'm just going to do it. Right.
Mhm.
So, and that's a tool too. And then the other thing about the haters, somebody once told me if you can get 50% of the population to hate your guts, you could become president of the United States. So it's like what I'm aware of is like you need haters because nobody has as much energy.
But
They
you
talk
know
about you more vigorously than like,
Do
people who
you
love
know
you.
what happens? Do you know what happens in terms of like a parasocial activity that happens? The more hate you get, the more love you get from those that love you already, right? A case in point, I'm running an ad at the moment. I'm running a Facebook ad at the moment right now. People are saying, why are you hating on this guy, talking about his ginger, etc. And my student come on there and he wrote a comment, saw it on his For You page. And from there, you've got his kind of stand, and then all these other people. Yeah, stop picking on him. He's just doing a job. He's just trying to help people or something. Those hate comments have brought so many people closer to you and felt a deeper connection. They become your. We call it often like you've got fans, right? You've got like the fans, but you've also got super fans. So we talk about when we're kind of doing the funnel of from TikTok. We're talking about our content funnel. We're funneling people in. So we start off with viewers, we turn them into fans, we turn them into super fans, then we push them down into clients. So here it's that hate is actually give the fuel for the lovers to come through and to burn brighter as well. And that's when they start turning into your super fans because they're getting that fuel from the haters. That's
I
when
love
it's
that.
like
So
it's
what I
a
just
win.
wrote down is that hate actually generates love. So when people are watching my stuff, you're still paying me. You're just paying me with attention and you might be a hater, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still paying me. And it's just like a different way of thinking about it, right?
And I also think it's empathy as well.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Dude, I could talk to you for hours. So this is so wonderful. We've added so much value for people that are out there. I think we've made very, very clear that TikTok is the main platform to be focused on at this moment. That may change over time, but that's the deal right now. We've given them a blueprint on what to focus on. So if people want to reach out to you, if they want to connect to the go-to guy for TikTok, how do they find you?
So what we've got is we've got a Facebook group. Okay, so we've got a Facebook group. The best way to join is to head over to Facebook, and what you need to do is search TikTok for real estate, attract buyers and sellers. Okay, so this is our we've got nearly 1,000 members in there now, all realtors, real estate agents, either one looking to get started on TikTok or those that are currently active on TikTok, seeing much success. So your first step is there. Then if from there you want to download our guides, we've got planners, we've got templates, we've got ideas, anything we can send your way to help you at least get started. And then if there you want we can have a conversation if you want to take it and get on a call with myself or one of our team to see how we can actually help you on a more bespoke custom level, then we can do that as well. But the first step would be to join the Facebook group. So again, it's TikTok for real estate, attract buyers and sellers.
Wonderful, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you. I know we're going to be having further conversation, and I look forward to connecting soon. Thanks for taking the time.
Cheers, Aaron. Thank you.